Hey everyone, welcome back to the Holler. Mike here with Hills and Hollers Homestead, and you're getting a couch session today. The reason for that is Monday's video when I said that I was tired, but I'm always tired, but I was tired and hurting, and it was a double whammy. Well, Sunday evening, my right knee started hurting a little bit. Didn't think much of it. I'm 51 years old. I've abused myself over the years, so having something to hurt like that's nothing out of the ordinary. Well, Monday it swelled, and into Tuesday morning it continued to swell, and by 8 o'clock Tuesday morning I couldn't stand it. And when I tell you I couldn't stand it, my knee would not straighten, it wouldn't bend, and it felt like it was just going to literally explode. It was swollen so bad. And so I called my regular doctor, and of course I couldn't get in until January 31st. So no way I'm going to wait that long. I couldn't even bear weight on it at that point. So I went to the local ER. And I went to an ER because I knew there was something more going on that could be handled at an urgent care center. All right. So 10 hours later, and this is no joke, I only spent 45 minutes in the waiting room. The rest of the 9 hours and 15 minutes was spent in a room undergoing tests and MRIs and everything else. So evidently, now this is January, we're in West Virginia, we have winter. Believe it or not, we actually do have winter. Not much of winter anymore, but you guys have heard of Lyme disease. Now, Lyme disease you equate with Lyme ticks that you figure you were going to be getting in the spring, summer, fall months. Well, I had no injury to my knee. They done an MRI. The degree of wear and tear on my knee did not explain the amount of significant swelling and stuff and the amount of fluid that was collected on my knee. So they've been seeing an influx of people showing up in the ER, and I guess this, not just this ER, but these guys noticed it, is that people are coming in, a knee will be swollen, they have no other symptoms, they have no reported injury, no different or unusual activity, and after a complete workup, they're finding out that these people have Lyme disease, and this is actually early Lyme disease, where you'll usually see what they call Lyme arthritis in about 60% of the patients in a late stage of Lyme disease that are untreated. They're now seeing this early on. So no fevers, no chills, no tick bites, no bullseye rash, nothing else leading up to it. Just all at once, a joint will swell up, and that's what's occurring. So the first Lyme test that I got was negative. And from what they're saying is that they do a 2-tier test now, because even with this occurring with the swelling in the joint, you can have Lyme disease and it not show up in a blood test initially. They would do a second test 2 to 4 weeks later. So I'm scheduled for my second test, and I also have to go see the orthopedic doctor. My knee is better. I can get it to about 90 degrees now. I still can't straighten it all the way out. I've got crutches. This is the second day I'm off of crutches, thank goodness, because I couldn't even bear weight. They tapped my knee 3 times in the ER, stuck a needle in there 3 times trying to get that fluid off, and they couldn't do it. So there's a good possibility this is Lyme disease. We won't know for sure until I get the second blood test. Now, my wife did have to pick up my slack for a couple days, but yesterday and today I've been able to go out and take care of the animals and stuff. I'm just a little slower. And so I'm sure she's glad that I'm not sitting on the couch all the time now, sitting there letting her do all the work. But anyways, I have been able to go out and take care of the animals. I'm just a little slower, like I said, and I am definitely off the crutches now. So this is something that I want you guys to be aware of. This was definitely a hindrance. If I was a single person and had nobody to help me for 2-3 days, my animals would have been in a lot of trouble, because there's no way, especially with this mud, that I'd have been able to get out there. And I'll tell you another thing too, and this is a good preparedness idea, is crutches. Thank goodness I have crutches now, because I realized when I wasn't able to bear weight on that leg that had I been in a situation where I couldn't get out of here and get to the hospital or call 911, something would happen, you know what I mean? There's no way. I mean, I'd have scooted on my butt down to the main road or to the neighbors before I'd have got any help. And that would be if help was available, you know what I mean, in any kind of situation like that. But so here's an idea for you. When spring comes around and in spring, summer, and those yard sales start picking up, those garage sales, if you come across a set of crutches, buy them. Buy them, put them up somewhere, put them in your building, put them in your attic, put them in your basement. Have those things on hand, because these crutches I got now, they're all aluminum. They're adjustable all the way down to my 5-year-old and all the way up to me and people much taller than me. I think they go up to like 6'4", 6'7", or something like that. So really cool. Thank God for insurance is all I got to say about that. So these things will be definitely put away in held in reserve, because that was a bad situation, like I said, with the mud and everything. Especially now, if I would have not been able to get out of here, and or would have been in a situation where I couldn't get to the hospital, so we don't want to think about those things. But that's something like that to definitely make sure that you run across a $5 set of crutches at a yard sale, garage sale, buy them. Now, I don't know for sure that this is Lyme. There's nothing else to explain why my knee swelled up. And like I said, it is getting a little better, but it's still a little touchy with it. I do go see the orthopedic doctor on the 15th just as a follow-up, but I also get my Lyme test drawn that day as well. If it turns out to be Lyme, they'll put me on an antibiotic for about a month, maybe less, 2 to 3, 4 weeks. I can't remember what the treatment is now. But we'll wait until we see what that test shows, and I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. But here's something to think about. Now, we know weather changes, we know climate changes. Okay, there's no argument against either one of those. Weather changes, climate changes, it has forever. The argument tends to be that man's impact on that. But let's look at something different as well. Think about, and wherever you're from. When I was a kid growing up in West Virginia, here in this area, we had whippoorwills, we had bobwhites, we had grouse. If you walked in the woods every 5 minutes, you were getting a heart attack because you were jumping grouse up. And if you've never jumped a grouse up in the woods, you wouldn't understand what I'm saying, like having a heart attack. It would scare the crap out of you. They usually wait till you're right up on them, and then they take off and they get right up in your face. And I've never seen a pheasant in the wild in West Virginia. So we don't have those birds around here anymore. I mean, I've owned this property since 2004, and I've maybe jumped a grouse 4 times on this property in all those years. So with the lack of these kind of animals, these birds and stuff like that would traditionally normally eat ticks and everything like that, we don't have that. We don't have that population around here anymore. And I miss listening and hearing bobwhites and whippoorwills. I miss hearing that as a kid, because that was just the coolest thing, just to sit on your porch at night and just be dead quiet. And you hear that bobwhite or that whippoorwill out there just making all that noise. And these, like I said, these were the birds that they were ground dwelling. They could fly, but they spent most of the time on the ground, and they ate the bugs and the insects and stuff, and kept the ticks at bay. Our dogs, we even put flea and tick medicine on them year round, and they're still coming in the house with ticks on them that we're pulling off of them all the time. Even through, the cold winter and everything. So the ticks are prevalent, even though we've got chickens that free range. They're not free ranging right now. And even though that we had the guineas that were free ranging, we still got an overabundance of ticks. So my plan is here in a few weeks, maybe about another month, more towards the end of February, I'm going to start getting some guineas, and I'm going to raise some guineas, and it may be against my better judgment to get these daggone noisy things again, but I will make them an invasive species up here, and I will turn them loose. Free to eat all the ticks and bugs that they want to. Let them scream and yell. I don't care. If this is something that turns out to be Lyme disease, I'm definitely going to get stuff up here that's going to help quell them without having to use, a bunch of insecticide or any kind of poisons and stuff. So if you live in a tick or a Lyme prone area, use a lot of caution. Like I said, this is something that they're seeing now that, I never have found a tick on me. I've not had a bullseye rash that I've ever seen. I had no symptoms leading up to just my knee swelling up all at once. So be vigilant. Checking yourself, checking your family members. When I was a combat medic, I was with field artillery, and we were in always heavy tick-prone areas during training and stuff. And we got a lot of guys who got Lyme ticks on them and stuff. So we implemented a 3-hour buddy check. Every 3 hours, these guys were coming off the guns. They were dropping their Nomex suits off and checking each other for ticks. And if they found a tick, they would automatically come to the medics, come to us, and we would remove the tick, document it, and everything like that, and keep watch on them in case they had any symptoms. So, you know, check your kids, check your spouse, check your buddy if you have to, and you know, check your animals and stuff like that. They come in. Just because it's winter doesn't mean that there's not ticks out there, obviously. So we'll know more, like I said, in a few weeks, couple weeks, and I'll keep you guys posted on that. But there's definitely going to be a bunch of free ranging critters around here, and I'm actually going to look into dabbling with raising some, maybe even some bob whites and some whippoorwills, and just turning them loose. Maybe I get in trouble for that. Maybe I won't. Maybe they won't know. Shh. I'll turn them loose so I can listen to them. I don't care. I'll repopulate the area. But anyways, just, you know, like I said, be safe, be vigilant. Look for when you're at yard sales and garage sales this year, or just, you know, run across a pair of crutches, get them, keep them on hand. You might need them. You never know. Because really, in a bad situation, those crutches would have saved my life if I had to get out of somewhere, because I wasn't moving on that leg, not at all. And you can only hop on one leg so far, especially when you're 51. It just don't work like it did when you were a kid. But anyways, stay on top of that, guys. Like I said, check yourselves, check your dogs, check your pets. You know, even check your animals, and keep close watch on your kids. And if you start to develop strange symptoms, or, you know, all at once a joint swells up, particularly a knee, and you've had no injury to that knee and nothing different, you'll probably want to go get that checked out very soon, and insist that they check you for Lyme, and insist that they check you for Lyme twice if that's the thing that comes up, because it is a two-tier test. There's a tier 1 and a tier 2, and there is plenty of literature out there now that I've found that, and it's good medical literature that says swollen joints, particularly a knee joint, is now a primary symptom that they're seeing. So, you know, here's your conspiracy theory question of the day. Are they weaponizing ticks? Can you imagine that? Weaponizing ticks. The other one didn't work, so we're going to start weaponizing ticks on people. Anyways, it's a joke. That's a joke, okay? Anyways, get prepared, stay prepared, take care, and God bless.